All right, everybody, welcome to the session here today. I'm Rodrigo. I'm going to be here with you, and we're going to be here with Nic Chahine, lead trader from the Options Inner Circle chat room. A lot of you guys know him because he's been here with Benzinga for about 11 years, around there. And basically,
I'm here.
Yep, and Nic is here. And basically, guys, we're going to get right here to Nic, just going over a couple things here. But basically, guys, we're going to be going over trade ideas, education, setups, current market events that are happening right now. So really quick, a couple shout outs: Brian, Carlos, Bill, Charles. We got like 5 Chris's in the chat. Devandra, Jonathan, Mukesh, Mitch. What's going on, guys? So just know, guys, we're going to be here for some time. Nic will do tickers at the end. But yes, Nic, tell me, before anything, let's go ahead and have a proper introduction here. Nic Chahine in the house, ladies and gentlemen.
I still have the game. So you guys scheduled me at the market close on a crazy close. I still have the gang open in the room, so I muted them, but they're still looking at my screen and I'm talking to us here. Glad to be here. Should be fun Friday. It's an amazing close. I don't like the way it closed. This is insane. Went way beyond it should have. So this happened about 7 weeks ago on a Friday. Mm-hmm. The data didn't mean anything. They ran against the data and it was a Wall Street bets thing. And then that was a start of a big debacle. Hopefully it doesn't repeat, but I'm uneasy on how it played out.
Yeah, I mean, these are some crazy times in the markets, Nic, but I'll tell you one thing, man. You know, since we launched this chat room, I remember when, you know, you and I started this whole thing, just how it has evolved, right? Because you do the whole screen sharing Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, all that stuff. But during these times, I guess it's when people like really appreciate it the most, you know?
Yeah, hold on. Can I share my screen for a second?
Yeah, let's go ahead and rip it here.
I'm going to share Jitsi right here, right now. Okay. Can you see it? This is what's going on right now. We have however many we have. 184 left. They were like 260 earlier. And look at them. They're like, thank you, thank you, thank you. And not just to me. There are a couple people in here, like Katya today, crushed it. She told us they were going to hunt 3930 in the S&P. And it got there, close to it. I didn't check the last minute. But this is what we do. And I want you to see this one message from this one guy. It just scrolled. There it is. If you can take a picture. Look, before I joined your group, made some unwise trades, DraftKings, whatever. He's saying that he learned so much that he stopped making mistakes. If I can just do that consistently, just make people stop making mistakes. That's
the big issue with most new traders. It's not just about making money. That's what people think. It's also about not losing money, right?
Look at this person here. Thanks, Nic. You saved me from losing my entire ads. Just lost part of it. Sorry you lost some. So anyway, you're welcome. So that's what we do all day. The room has produced so much knowledge and profits along the way. This week we killed it. Yesterday somebody suggested a trade that paid big time out of nothing. The day before that, the same guy, Rick, suggested a trade that paid out of nothing. Today he suggested one that didn't quite well work, but it didn't risk a lot, and he disclosed it as such. I shared a trade at the open that worked out, and that's the only thing I did today. I did book some Palantir longs that I'd shared on this big giant move in Palantir. I suggested to short the S&P at the open at a safe distance that survived. My short was at 39.25 SPX, and it worked. So I created If I did 10, I created $500 out of thin air. And my risk was for the SPX not to go above 39.25.
Nick, really quick here, I do want to let the folks know, for what you're seeing right now, keep in mind, Nick does provide trading assistance and all that stuff for people that even day trade options, or if you're swinging, doing long-term trades. It's for all types of option traders. Even people that don't trade options are there because they like to learn the technicals.
Correct.
Yep.
So what you're looking at is like the extra layer that I did not promise to anyone when we started the Benzinga service. This was not in the books. I started just writing up credit spreads. Like I would decide to take a credit put spread here, credit call spread there. I would share it and write up, and that was it, 2-3 times a week. Then I said, okay, every day. Then I said chat room. So we opened the chat room where it's open all day. You pop in, you have a question, you ask me. If I'm there, fine. If I'm not, fine. I will answer whenever I got. So this gave you an opportunity to interact with me at any point in time. And we have thousands of people there. And then what you're looking at is the new layer for people who can come in. You don't have to be here. You don't have to say anything. If you pop in, great. If you're not here, you're not missing on anything. Anything that has time on the clock, I write up and send. Anything that is super fast, I don't. We do it here.
Nick,
so if you're in here, you're getting bonus.
I don't know if you can show them because you have a library, pretty much like a Nic Chahine video library resource center.
I do, right? But I would have to log into it.
Well, it's basically videos for all beginners or even people that are trading, right? So like, what is a call? What is a put? What's a spread?
Right. It is
very detailed.
It's something to help you get started, and I'll share it right now. And I'll log in myself. And where is the sharing screen? Stop share.
I'm going to point out really quick here on the YouTube side, Lewis F. Great day today, Nick. Thank you again. This week was a game changer in my thinking/analysis from Lewis F. on the YouTube side.
Lewis, L-U-I-S. Yeah, I like Lewis a lot, right? So right here, getting started. You land here, you go to getting started. My computer, I have like 47 windows open right now, no joke. So this is what we have. Setup information, what are options in general, what are puts, what are calls, what's the spread, how about a credit spread? That's my money maker. That's how I made all my money this week. I didn't chase calls, I didn't chase puts. I was like, okay, I can say price is going here or there. How about I can say with confidence, price is not going here and it's not going there, and I'll make money off of that statement. So I don't need it to go anywhere. I just need time to tick. So that's the credit spread. Some table breakdown information and some other stuff we keep adding to it. So if somebody joins today, first thing you do, go in here, power through it, and write down every word you don't understand. Come into the chat room, which is I'll open it in a second. You come into the chat room and you say, hey, I watched that video. I didn't get it. What did you mean by that? So this is where I delve into it. Maybe I get you another video that would help you with that. And that's the chat room. And it is, I post in there, other people post. I want to show you Katya's post earlier today. I think it's up here. Floored me. Her technical abilities are amazing. She called it early and she shared this chart. I know it's wacky, but trust me, her call was spot on. I said, that's a lot of lines. And she said, yes, but they all point to that. So it's unbelievable. And it was her post early, and she kept coming in. Don't short. I see upside. She got it, nailed it. Okay. So it is important that we participate, and everybody helps everybody. And in here, there's a place where you can reach me directly in private if you don't want to do it here.
Nick, and really important, there's a lot of people I'm sure that are watching that maybe have a full-time job or a part-time job. Maybe they run a company, whatever, and they just want their money to work for them. They don't want to babysit trades. Are you able to help those people as well?
Right. So that's what the service was for. I started by doing credit spreads, which are slow poke trades that deliver 20%, 12 to 24% yield on risk, and they don't require babysitting. You set it. Give you an example. Okay, Tesla had a problem a few weeks ago, right? A couple of weeks ago, it fell apart on BS, Twitter news, whatever. I said, okay, let's catch the falling knife, and by selling a put spread in the middle 500s. So I made 20% by selling 15, I think 15 or 20% by selling a put spread in the middle of the 500s. I didn't even look at it once. And it dies on July 1st, and now it's worthless in my favor. So what did I do? Everybody got bearish Tesla. I looked at the support levels and all of that, and I said, okay, I'm not as bearish. I tell you what, Mr. or Mrs. Bearish person, I'll sell you this put spread you're looking to buy in Tesla. So I do that, and I collect money. You can do that, and you go to work. You don't have to look at that trade. You come back, you check in the middle of the day, is Tesla above 600? Then I don't even have to blink. Tesla below 600? Okay, how far away from my line? Okay, that's fine. You come back, time passes, the trade dies in your favor. The buyer lost. So you're basically selling a losing lottery ticket. If somebody's super bearish, I'd be willing to sell them that bet for them to lose. If somebody's super bullish, I'd be willing to sell them that bet. If I do both, I double my income and win from the biggest, most enthusiast and most pessimist. Let most extremes lose. If you sell them lottery tickets, they will lose almost every time. Every once in a while, something goes wrong. Like I got stuck long Snap because of the idiot CEO's comments without warning. There was no earnings, nothing. He decided to update us and think it was a crap report. Just a month after he already officially reported, and like a month and a half or 2 months before he's due to report again. What's the point? You know? So he caught me wrong. But if you did what I thought would be done a couple of weeks ago when that happened, today you got redemption and you could have gotten out about even, maybe a little bit red. But those are unavoidable. So the idea is to get together and trying to find boring ways to make money. And then I added the level of excitement, which is the room I just shared with you, the live room. At the peak last week on Fed Day, I had 385 people. I'm twitchy because I have a terrible neck ache. So 385 people, it was not noisy. It was busy, but it was not noisy. People were not screaming out calls or puts or trades, or nobody posts a win unless they actually shared the entry point. So if Linda pops in and says, I'm shorting Google right here, I usually come in and say, here's what she's doing, and here's what you should look out for. So that not people just jumping in blind. And then she posts later, I'm closing my long or my short. So she's not going to come in and say, I just booked a win on Google, unless you actually shared the entry point. I have to thank Katya, because she put in a lot of effort to tell us, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. And she was right. So it's the collaborative effort that keeps us honest and productive. We usually catch 2 to 6 to 7 trade setups a day. I can't do those because I'm too busy. I do 1 or 2. Today I did 1 and booked 1. Yesterday I did 2 and 1. The day before yesterday I did 2 and 1. And I'm like the slowest poke out there because I'm busy organizing the thing. Now, this is for people who can come in and spend some time. Now, people who can't do that, they just read the write-ups, 1 in the morning, 1 in the middle of the day with a trade setup, usually with a long video, and how I do it and why. And then also on Fridays, which reminds me I'm going to be late today because I'm here, I send out a form where you give me the tickers that you want to review. And usually we end up doing those on Sunday morning, and it's about 150 tickers. Yes, I take them on Saturday. I spend about 3 hours. Shoot. I got somebody at the front door. Can you hold the fort down?
Yeah, no worries, dude.
Okay, so I'll be right back. How do I stop this?
Yep. So we're just gonna wait for Nick to get his pizza or whatever it is that he ordered. Um, but basically, yeah, he does this every day, Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, and Sundays there's a session as well, and that session is for about 2 to 3 hours, from 10 a.m. Eastern till about noon. Um, yeah, we should just let that pizza guy wait for, or just leave the food outside and Nick can get it later, right? But yeah, this is pretty much what Nick does. He's just giving you a quick overview because it was a pretty intense week in the chat room. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna put the link there for you guys. No worries.
I'm back. That was fast. Woohoo.
Yeah, it's good. You got your pizza or whatever there. We're all set now.
No. Somebody's picking up something, and I told them I put it on the front door, and they just showed up. Sorry about that. Okay, thank God I have cameras. What was I saying? Okay, so the exciting stuff happens if you can make it. If not, the boring stuff comes to you in the mail. Homework on Sunday, 2.5-hour videos. You can come watch me. I'll do them live like now, and then I'll share the video later in the day. So Sunday nights, I usually send out a strategy video, and that's pretty important. So next week should be exciting.
Right. And the thing, Nick, is that like every week, even though there's a lot of stuff happening in the markets, you cover everything. So for example, even if there's an acquisition or some sort of thing happening in the markets, so it becomes more of like a live education-ish type of thing, right? Where you break down, you provide a full backdrop of education of every trade idea, everything you're reviewing. But I know that since, the Fed is a big,
Service.
I mean,
I think that's where you're going with that.
yeah, I mean, you
I
love the
want you to
Fed and
know what you're doing and why you're doing it and how you can do it without me going forward. So not everybody can trade the same way. I cannot trade as fast as these people in the room. I know that for a fact. So I don't try. In racing, it's like they say, drive your own race. If you try to follow the guy or girl in front of you and they're faster, they're taking a different line, you try to follow them, you're going to crash. You're going to overdrive your skills. So I know my limitations, so I don't try to do anything different. So I give enough variations and enough information to educate you on what works for you and what not. And if you don't know and you say, you know what, I'm reading all of these and I'm confused, what do I do? And then I'll ask you a few questions and then you tell me what you do. And then I'll say, here's what I would suggest you doing. And the first thing I would suggest you doing if you join the group, tell me your next trade before you do it. If you trade on your own and if you've had a few losses, or if you just want another opinion, come to me with your trade. If I like it, I will join you with it. So I want that opportunity. So in fact, I want more people in the room because the productivity goes through the roof, because you have my style of trading, Katya's style of trading, Cypher's style of trading, who is insanely good with levels. A couple other people, we have people who have gut instinct and they share. Like at the last minute spike, a couple of people, including Ryan participates a lot. He said, I'm buying puts, and everybody says for when, and he gave the details. I think he said Monday, I'm not sure. So everybody's pitching in. If I miss it, somebody catches it. Oh, this week, 2 questions. One was CCL and Wells Fargo. So one person in the morning jumps in with Wells Fargo, asks me about Wells Fargo. So I go into the Wells Fargo to answer the question, and I see something like, oh my gosh, there could be a trade there. And we did it, and it played out. I think it was last Friday. I'm sorry. Played out beautifully. Same with CCL. Played out beautifully in minutes. It went from pennies to big time wins. It was like a double, 2.5, 3.5 times the money. But if they didn't come to me, ask me about it, then I would not have done. I would not have known. So the more people, the more opportunities, but the same goal. The goal is the same. Learn, teach. Anybody can give a trade alert, but the organization, what not to do at what time, is really the golden ticket. So all afternoon, I was telling them, don't buy the spike, it's going to fade. Don't buy the spike, it's going to fade, even at the risk of sounding like an idiot because they did actually spike. But it was the wrong thing to do to buy the spike with conviction because the data said no. And 2 times this has happened where it didn't work right in the last month and a half. Today was the second time. A Friday about 6 or 7 weeks ago, it was an unbelievably strong close, already good. And then Friday, last minute, Reddit takes it over and the SPY goes and screws the market makers. That's what happened today. The market makers lost money at the close. They will have their revenge after hours. But retail, I bet you if you go to Wall Street Bets tracking, you'll see the SPY 1 or 2. And that's what happened today. So my job was to throttle the enthusiasm a little bit. And I told them, if you do get a win, book it fast. And they dropped immediately after the market closed. If we look at the SPYs, what am I sharing? Am I sharing a window right now?
You're sharing the chat room now, Nic.
Oh, the chat room, not the charts.
Yes, I believe so.
Okay.
That's what I'm seeing.
Okay, so I'm going to share my charts. Okay, so SPY, 30 seconds, hide. So I'm all okay, except with this part. You know, the day was already up 2.5%. What did we end up? 3.2%. That's sacrilege. We should not have done that. We should have closed at 388 to 387. That's what the data wanted. They went above and beyond. So we'll pay the price later. Last time that happened, we had a market crash. So let's see how that plays out. When was that? Maybe one of these days right there. Anyway, so beware of the data and hopefully we can avoid making mistakes, even at the expense of missing out. Like I would rather miss out on 50 cents of profit than to get blindsided. So I was long Palantir. I shared the long Palantir. And I chose August $8 calls. So they were totally in the money today. The trade is up 120%, 110%. So what I did today, I took enough off to pay for the trade. So what I have left is almost free money. So I may have missed out because Palantir may continue to rally, but I did the right thing. In hindsight, it might not be perfect, but I did the right thing and I'll do it again. So if you want to last the long term in this business, you have to be able to accept losses and accept missing out. If you can't accept missing out, you're going to get caught chasing late. So big picture, this is the S&P daily chart, nothing fancy. Check it out. Rally, sold, rally, sold, rally, sold, rally, sold, rally, sold, rally, sold. They're selling rallies. Until that changes, you don't go to the moon immediately. These, I haven't seen candles like these in years. I can't even remember. If you scroll back, you won't find them. Giant red day, gap, giant red day, giant gap, giant red day, giant gap, giant red day, giant gap, and a red day in a row. I haven't seen punishment like this in a long time. So this unusual behavior, and it's being met by unusual behavior on the way up. So this right here is normal price action, although it's plus 4% in an abnormal market. You know what I mean? So if you drop 12% in a week, in 10 days, you're going to rally back 6% in 3 days. It's normal. It's not normal behavior, but it's normal inside of this abnormal situation. The VIX is 27. We are not out of the woods. If we were, the VIX will not be anywhere near 27. Let me give you the logic behind that. How is the VIX priced? It's priced off of the options. So the options are sold by market makers. So let's say, if you want to sell insurance to a car driver, you look them up and you say, I think you're going to be a crazy driver. If you think they're going to be a crazy driver, like a teenager, they charge teenagers more than others, right? Boys especially. So why? Because they know teenagers tend to crash more statistically than anybody else. So you're not going to charge him a premium the same as an old person who doesn't hardly drive. So it is, they put the premium priced high enough to account for their risk, right? So if the puts and calls are so expensive, that's why the VIX is jacked up. That's because the sellers of those puts and calls, the market makers who are in control of the market, have questions. They have fears, and they think that you buying a put on Apple $2 below now should be priced way more than normal. That's why the VIX is high. So if that's the case, how are you comfortable being long Apple with no protection? So that's the concept. If the market makers are still so upset that they're still priced so high with the VIX, we're not out of the woods. We could be, but you should leave some question marks. Or you can follow what Kramer says and do the opposite and be right. I don't watch him, but somebody told me that he said wait on the bottom, and he said buy oil, and that's the only thing that's falling. So that's what I got from my members. Okay, what else are we doing? So we have education, we have all styles, all levels. If you're starting out, welcome. The room has all styles of trading, a lot of options traders, a lot of equity traders, a lot of mix of everything, a lot of futures not a lot, some futures traders, and the mix works. There aren't no egos, there's no nastiness, nobody calls anybody out. You have enough material that you can get started from scratch. If you know a little bit, I can level you up to the max. I guarantee it. Listen, this is a guarantee from me that you will become a better trader out of this program. I guarantee it. Whether I teach it to you or not, out of the program, you're going to come out better. I am not the best trader out there. There are excellent traders out there. If you just want, here's a trade, do it, and you don't want to learn it. If you want to do it and learn it, this is the right place. It's honest. There's no Wall Street gibberish. I'm an engineer. I have nothing to do with Wall Street. I figured this stuff out on my own. I put my charting skills against anybody out there, and I learned it on my own. So I will tell you what's going on in the charts without any help from anybody, and without any help from all kinds of gibberish. Oh, that's not up to me. It cost $1 million. Whatever it costs is not enough. I can tell you that. Luckily, I work with Benzinga. So I did promise you all of that stuff. If you don't like it, they promise you your money back. So whatever it is, you can get it all back.
Right. Nic, really quick here. Since I'm getting a lot of questions here on my email about the chat room and here on the chat. Let me just go through this really quick, and then we can just get back here to the session that we have for the folks. All right. Okay. So these are questions, again, that you guys have sent out. So appreciate, all the stuff. So does Nic Chahine go over member trade ideas? Yes, this is a regular, normal thing that he does Monday to Friday. And in the live screen share, in the live trading room, he can answer you verbally, showing you charts. You can private message him, whatever it is. Are the sessions on Sundays recorded? Yes, they are recorded and they're posted in the chat room. Does everybody that joined get a free laptop? Yes. What's the schedule of the chat room? So Monday to Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern, and Sundays, 10 a.m. Eastern till noon or longer sometimes. That's Sundays. So let's see, is there a money back guarantee, 7-day money back guarantee? And the price at renewal is going to be the same as next year. So, and the next question is, does Nic provide education? Obviously, yes, every day. So that covers everything. I know that Nic is always adding things to the chat room out of pocket. I'll tell you, out of pocket, like that live trading thing that he's sharing his screen all day. That's never part of the deal, part of the contract, part of nothing. That was just Nic really wanting to communicate better and help his users more. So I'm telling you that Nic keeps adding and changing stuff. So I don't know if have you added anything new, Nic, with the folks there?
I'm doing more credit spreads during the day. So I don't know if you know that the SPX, that's the index of the S&P. The SPY is the ETF. The SPX now expires every day. Every day. So I'm offering an iron condor a day that pays 25%. This week, I have not lost on them. Today, I couldn't do an iron condor because I waited too long. I did the credit call spread, so I shorted the market early. I still won because my short was high enough. So that win alone, if you can join in the room, you learn how to set it up.
Yeah, and Abdul from YouTube is saying hello. Abdul K. Diallo.
Hi, Abdul. It's always nice to see. I'll tell you a story. I'll tell you a story. So this was my position today. I sold the 325 call that shorts the market. I bought the 330 call that limits my short. So I basically collected amount of money, and if price went through that, I would have lost. But if price didn't go through it, it rallied, right? 3% up on the day, and I still didn't lose money. That's how conservative I was. This paid me about 14%, 16% on my risk. Had I done the other side of it, I would have done the opposite on puts, but I ran out of time. I would have collected 25%, 24%, 20, 30%, depends. But I did not have confidence. I should have, but I waited too long. And then I said, you know what? I don't want the drama. I know my speed. I know my busyness. I don't want to risk everything over it. So I opted out of it. So this is new. We share the iron condors, and we also did an iron butterfly a couple of times, which kind of worked for one time, not the other. We also did, it's not quite an iron butterfly, but an iron condor that's super tight. Like basically, if you know how to play roulette, where you have to pick the number versus picking like an area, it's hard to pick a number. But if you could pick an area, a tight area, you have high odds. So these are low win rates, high payout, and somewhat okay risk. Versus mine, a low rate of risk, high risk dollars if you lose, but the odds of success are very high to where I'm okay risking more money at a safe distance. So that's kind of new. The fact that the SPX now expires every day gives us a whole bunch of new trade ideas. I love it. So also the write-ups, I'm streamlining the write-ups a little bit more to the degree where you guys asked for it from Benzinga.
Yeah, Nick, what I want to add here is that there are cases, I don't know if this happens often, but this was kind of like one of the many eye-opening moments when I see how the chat room helps people, where this one person posted a screenshot of a trade, and they thought they were doing a trade. Turns out they were doing something completely different, and so people can get in trouble by Owen, the bank brokerage or whatever.
Yes. Yeah. So somebody, when they have questions, they come and say, I have this trade going. Like today that happened. They told me a trade that was like, those numbers don't make sense. You better make sure you're not selling it instead of buying it. And we got down to the bottom of it. You're thinking of an instance that happened weeks ago, and so many more have happened since then, just like it, where the person is saying, okay, the platform is telling me I'm taking this trade, but it's telling me unlimited risk or something like that. So it depends, yes, the instant answer to the question is amazing. And the fact that you can actually share stuff like your end of the picture, that also works. Somebody shared a picture with me the other day. I forgot what it was. It was a table on what happens if this and what happens if that. And there were a couple of mistakes in it, so I shared it back. So, okay, the SQ before you change your mind on it, long put spread. What was my mind, SQ? What did I tell you? I think SQ was too cheap. So it got hit too harshly. Let me take out the overnight and go just with regular hours. Square, PayPal have been punished way beyond recognition. And I think it might be in tandem with Bitcoin. So I'm still optimistic that company long term. They are killing it. If you look at the fundamentals, there is nothing to look at it. Look at this ramp of growth. So first of all, they don't bleed cash. They create about $1 billion from their operations, which tells me, look at the growth rate: 49, 34, 30, 48, 43, 100, 85. Growth rate, like look at that, $16 billion, $17 billion run rate. That's almost double 2020, which was double the year before that. That is amazing, right? and they have a net income or just about, and they're spending a lot in order to grow a lot, I'm still optimistic. So this is a situation where if you force me to trade it, I would be long for the long term. If you force me to trade it right now, I'd sell puts on bad days or sell put spreads on bad days, and buy call spreads when I expect upside. So I like it. Same as Meta. I went long Meta and it's doing well. I think Facebook Meta is the cheapest stock out there. 13, 12 PE. 12 PE, that's cheaper than Exxon. Shorted all the oils, not to mention that we made so much money on the oil short, it's unbelievable.
Hey,
We were short Oxy, Exxon, and the USO
Nic,
before they started correcting.
I remember, Nic, that one of these sessions, you're basically saying that oil would probably be like, like the biggest short ever. And I've been trying to get into the sessions there, see when you're gonna get into the oil, because I know you love the energy sector, right? You love that whole sector as a whole, correct?
Yeah. So somebody's asking if I do trade intraday. I do, but that's not the service. That's bonus stuff I told you I do in the live room. The other stuff is never the goal is to do intraday. No. As far as oil, I will short the pops if they happen. Okay. That's all I'm saying. So I'll show you my Exxon is an excellent company. Excellent company. Chevron is an excellent company. That's why I said buy them in the pandemic when they were in the 40s and paying 9 and 10% yield dividends. Up here, I don't get it. What the hell are people buying? This is a dying business by policy. We don't have a shortage of oil. We have a policy oil problem. We don't have a short. We have tons of oil. We just choose not to get it. So it's a policy. And they took 8 years to recover their profit. If somebody bought it here, they're stuck for 8 years. And here you come, here, let me save you. Give me, here, take my money. I'll take your spot for another 8 years. I doubt people that bought oil companies here for an investment, I doubt they will make any money. So they're getting paid 3.5%, 4%. And if the stock drops 10%, so that's a minus 6%, not a good thing. It was the easiest way to say it. It was not an obvious point of entry. So I shorted Exxon right at the top. I shorted Oxy right at the top. I shorted oil just before the top. So I took heat on the USO, but now it's completely profitable. So how do I treat Exxon right now? If it rallies, I've put a line. I told my people, if it rallies, I'm going to try and short it again. It will face sellers. I think it will end up below $70 when all said and done. I won't short it to get there. I will short the rallies. How? When it rallies, I'll buy a put or sell a call spread, whichever. I made enough money to walk away perfectly fine, not to have to short it again. So either if it loses this one, I think the debacle continues to here. If it rallies into anywhere above 92, I'm all over that short. Oxy. And when I say short, I never mean sell the stock outright. Never. Nobody should do that. Not in the age of Reddit. Please be safe. Shorting safely involves buying a put. Look, first line I drew was here. This red path I drew way before it actually drew itself. Then I drew this yellow path, and I said the yellow path will catalyze the blue path. This did not come to fruition. They went bonkers. I thought it would happen up here, but no, they went bonkers. So now I think rallies into 64 on this stock will be sold. Buffett is buying. No, Buffett is not buying to make money off the stock. Buffett is buying to own the company so he can make money off the cash flow. You're not Buffett. You can't trade like Buffett. Okay. He's buying the company. You're trying to make money off the stock. Not the same thing. Not the same thing. So I think everybody that bought Oxy here, they're going to regret it. Chevron and Exxon are better companies than this one. This is the company that overpaid for Anadarko by a bazillion. Okay. It is leveraged to its eyeballs. Borrowing costs are going up. They're not going to be able to borrow anymore. Price of oil, if it collapses, they're going to be toast. I fight for a sport. So I was sparring the other day. I sparred with somebody I haven't seen in months. Hey, where have you been? I work on an oil rig. I'm a crane operator. I work for Occidental indirectly through one of the subsidiaries. Oh, how's business? He said, we've never made as much money before, but business is down 30-something%. So I was like, wait, what? Yep. So the only reason why they're doing better financially on the P&L is because of the price of oil. And guess what? The government is out to fight the price of oil. And if they win, Oxy is going to look like, what do they say? When the tide comes out, you'll see who's wearing a bathing suit type of a deal. They're not wearing a bathing suit. I'm going to share something with you. First of all, too erratic of a P&L. Also, balance sheet. Look at the debt they're in now. Total debt, 30 billion. It went from 8, 9, 9, 10, 40, 37, 30. That is a lot of debt because they bought a company. Be careful. That is not a healthy company. It could be in trouble. Okay. If you're not able to buy a naked put, why can't you buy a naked put? The naked put, the maximum loss is what you pay for it. You can't sell a naked put, but you can buy a naked put. If you can buy a spread, you can buy a naked put. I'd be shocked if they won't let you buy a naked put. There's no risk. You buy the put, that's the money you can risk. If the put costs $1, then you risk $100. If the price falls, then that $100 turns into more and you sell it and you make the difference. Okay. All right, so share some insight using my volume profile. I can do that, Carlos. Okay, so volume profile is an important study. So if you look down here, you see these bars, those are volumes. They tell me when things have happened. So if I look back here, no volume spike on earnings. That's really bizarre. So anyway, this tells me when the volume transaction happened. Not very useful for me. This stuff right here tells me when, at what level it happened. For example, this line right there, that orange line that goes sideways, tells me that for this period of time, which extends back to late April on my screen, Occidental was the busiest at $56. Second busiest are 2 bars above it. So 58 through 56, very popular spots for traders. What does that mean? If stock price is falling into a very popular spot, expect support. It's like a cushion. Why? Historically, that's a fact from the chart. They love it. So they start trading it fast. So if it's falling and one side is overcoming the other, they get into an area where everybody loves it. Buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. And check it out. Somebody just posted something in the chat room. I think
Nick,
it's there.
Really quick here, Nick. Just want to give a shout out here to Travis. Welcome to the family. Welcome to the family here at the Options Inner Circle chat room with Nick.
Cool, Travis. Hey, Travis, pop into the chat room, say hi. I can't be there right now. This is from the chat room, just somebody posted. This funniest person on the planet, by the way. He's on the West Coast, so am I. His handle is red with 4 Ds. He comes in middle of the day every day. He's like my son, wakes up at the crack of noon. Good morning, people. I was like, morning, late shift. So his nickname is Late Shift. He just posted these. These are his trades. Okay. He hardly get, look, and he's posting losses too. He got a sign on this one. Expired means he won. Won. Rolled means he got under heat and just punted 1 more week to see if he can dance out of it. And he's posting his stuff. So he's comfortable enough to share this stuff right there. I'm going to thank him for that. Thanks for sharing. That's amazing. And I shared it with you because he shared it in public domain in the chat room in a nice table. So that's the kind of community we have. I just misspelled something. That's okay. We're not about Wall Street. We're about making the options pay the average person that has a job, wants to be a full-time trader if they want to, or just wants to just get better at what they do. I promise you a better chart reading capability. So this was the easy answer on the volume profile. So these bars on the left, the higher the bar, the more volume historically. So it's data, it's not opinion, it's fact. They say price is truth. Price is truth. That's where truth is. That's price. That's actual data transactions. So there's no like forward thinking. As far as the difference in color, it's upticks and downticks. I don't get that granular about it, but I'm pretty sure you can read into it. This is called volume profile. Volume profile. Every platform calls it something slightly different. In this case, you're welcome. In this case, it's VPVR, VPSV, or something like that. The volume profile, visible range. Because look, if I zoom out, it adjusts to the period I'm looking at. If I zoom out some more, it adjusts to the period if I'm looking at. So if I go to a weekly 5-year, so now we're looking at 5 years worth of data. Look at that. Over the 5 years, the highest volume area, $12. 12. Second highest, 16. There's no volume here. Right here, there's no volume. What does that tell you? It's a weak point. I guarantee it. If they lose that support right there, there's no volume. They go straight down to here. Oxy, better hold on to 52. If it doesn't, I think it'll be 40 or 36. What did he say? What a cornhole. It's possible. Okay, I'm not shorting it for that. I will short the rallies. I won't short it. Like I will short it to where I don't need a drop to win. I like the easy route. The easy way to make money is to let other people make bets that you think are going to lose and you finance that proposition. So if somebody wants to bet on some up, can you see this part of my desk? Hopefully not. Please tell me you can't see this part of my desk.
No. So by the way, Nic, so just so you know, you're sharing right now the chart of Oxy, but your camera, instead of, your video, it's showing another chart and a chat room, like a couple of windows, like your video camera,
Oh, okay. So it's I see what it's OBS software. That's weird. Huh. I didn't turn it on. So I don't know how to turn that off. Let me stop sharing and then I'll reshare this one.
I think you just have to turn off your webcam because it's coming from your webcam.
Okay.
Will busted you. It says you're busted.
Did it go?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. I don't want to see you anyway. Here, I'll put a lid right on it. Okay, so where were we? The study is very useful because it actually tells you where historically traders liked it. For example, if we're looking at this one and price was rising, let's say price was rising, going into a high volume area, expect resistance. If price is falling into a high volume area, expect support. In the middle, not much going on, so they can go through it fast. Look, they went through it fast. When they say there's a gap, they don't mean that just that there's a gap. There's a gap because there's a gap in volume. Look, there's hardly any volume in this area. So if they come through it, they can just go right through it. Until they move through it a couple of times, then that mountain builds and suddenly it becomes a problem on the chart. But this is a daily chart. If I go to a weekly chart, you can see it differently. The data adjusts. If I zoom in, it's going to drastically change. If I zoom in some more, see now it's up here, the busiest spot. But look, I had to come to this year. If I encompass last year, it's going to start changing drastically. See, now it's here and here. So we went to September. That's when the change happened. See the hole in the middle? This candle, not a lot of action, which means this candle is not support. That's why you want to hold on to 52. Because if you don't, this candle is not support. There's nothing here. It'll go. So, and that's a head and shoulder looking thing right there. So very useful stuff. Very useful.
Right, Nic. And what is because I know you have a take on the news, because a lot of new traders come in, they're trying to just trade news. What What can you tell new traders about the news and how you go about it in the chat room?
Um, the news is sacrilege. You do not listen to news because 99.99% of headlines don't matter. They don't matter. They will not help you do anything except evoke emotions. So news agencies are not evil. Most of them are there to make money from clicks and eyeballs. If you're not watching, they can't sell ads. How can they get you to watch when there's something shocking and amazing and interesting? Most things are not shocking and amazing and interesting. So they will build mountains out of molehills. Like, for example, the Fed minutes. They're of events that happened 3 weeks prior, from which the Fed met 3 weeks ago. They decided, they told us their decision. They had a meeting about it. They presented it. We asked them questions. They had 25 speeches, and then come the minutes to tell us what they did back then. And then CNBC has the balls to say, today we learned that the Fed, no, we didn't learn it today. We learned it 3 weeks ago. Today, we just found out what they had for lunch during that meeting. That we didn't learn anything. We learned 3 weeks ago that the Fed is evil and trying to break the economy. So what was the file language? What did I say? Anyway, so the idea is to ignore the news because it's designed to make you emotional, and you need to be unemotional. So what we do is try not to listen to the news, get the data yourself. So if there is a Fed decision, go get the decision from the Fed. Don't listen to whoever's opinion is of that decision. So I think we're smart enough to make our own decisions. If the Fed tells me they're going to raise rates until the cows come home, I don't doubt it. So the Fed's evil, and I assume that they're going to try to break this economy. And here's the deal with the Fed. The Fed is just told us last year that they don't know how to do their job, because last year they have two jobs. They need to create jobs without creating inflation. That's their two jobs, two mandates. So job one requires some spending or sprucing of the economy. They can't lend, so they allow people who lend money to lend freely. So they lower the rates so that the banks who lend money can borrow very cheaply and lend us. That's how they spruce up the economy. That's the QE part, right? Now they're doing the opposite. So the idea is to spruce the economy well enough to create jobs, but without causing inflation. Right? So last year, what did they do? They spent way too much trying to panic response to the shutdowns. And what happened is they caused inflation. So we said, whoa, inflation last year. What did they say? I'll give you 10 seconds to think about the word. Transitory. It's going to be, it's not, inflation. Don't worry about it. We got this. But so last year they said, we're going to ignore inflation because half our job, we're going to ignore it in order to create jobs. They did. We're now at more than full employment, 3.5 unemployment. That's amazing. And now they're saying, oh, wait, that's too amazing. We're going to ignore jobs and reports, and we're going to demolish the economy because inflation now is our priority. So you can't do your job at the same time. No, they either are building jobs in spite of causing inflation or killing the economy, killing jobs in order to fight inflation. And guess what? So we have shortages everywhere. So supply, they cannot fix supply. So what are they doing? You're probably going to start hearing it. They're trying to destroy demand destruction. So if they can't get you more of the stuff you want to buy so you don't pay up for your stuff, like if you want a video card from NVIDIA and you can't find it, you're going to pay up $600 when the list price is $300, right? So what do? Is they cut off your pocketbook and cause you not to buy it because you can't afford it. They cause enough destruction in the businesses to fire people, to have more unemployment so that the demand will be less on the same stuff we have. They can't increase supply, so they want to whack demand. The only way you do that is if you crush the economy. It is absolutely criminal what they're doing, but who am I? So it's what they're doing is wrong, but you have to trade within that. You have to accept the risk and know what to do with that.
Right. Can you hear me there with the mic there?
Yeah.
And So here's the thing. I guess this is why a lot of people like your input. And look, I guess no better place to show that, Nick, than in an actual like live trading room, because a lot of new traders don't even know what the Fed is and what they do and how to read it. And even what they say is not even what's happening, right? Who would expect that, starting to trade? So I guess that's what people like your insight, because it is unbiased and you just get down to the facts, right? And you break it down as a logical trader.
Right.
You
So
demystify this whole stuff, right?
the bias is what kills everybody. So you can like, for example, I'll give you an example. I posted I posted an Occidental chart before I shorted it, and it had two arrows. One, the red path that you saw in the chart. It had this red path that was way back, and then I put an arrow on top. I don't know why it's not there anymore. I put an arrow on top saying respect the rally if they take out the high, which means short and stop out if you're wrong. Unemotional. I don't give two craps about it. So I want to take a bearish position to see if I can get that red arrow to work for me. And if not, and it takes out the high, I would stop out saying, you know what, I'll do it again. I was wrong this time. And immediately people attacked me on Twitter saying, well, why are you perma bear or whatever, accuse you of whatever. Why are you so emotional? It's a chart. I had the same reaction from the people with Hyliion. From 18, I said, stop buying the dips in that stock, leave it. And got shellacked. Our CEO was our CEO, what? You work for the company? No, but our CEO, I own the company. I own part of the company. He's my CEO. I was like, oh, okay. What is it? $2? Hopefully they stop buying dips. So don't be emotional. Don't fall in love with your stock. I like Amazon. I'm not in love with Amazon. I would totally take a bearish position on Amazon. I would go long Amazon. I try to be unemotional. So if you have, so the FOMO part works both ways. The FOMO is normal human reaction. If you see a herd of people running out of a forest, your instinct is not to run into the forest. It's to book it with them. And then while running, turn around and say, what are we running from, right? Your instinct is to chase. So that is exactly the opposite scenario here. In Wall Street, if you see people running into puts away from the calls, you go and say, wait, I'm going to run the other direction and see what they missed. What if somebody left a purse in that room they're running out of? Maybe I can pick up a few nuggets that are on the ground. Maybe somebody left a sandwich behind if I'm hungry. You know what I mean? So you have to ignore the human nature of chasing, because that's going to get you in financial trouble, and go the opposite way to see if somebody left an opportunity because they panicked. If somebody panicked, I'll give you the perfect example. Perfect. So during the pandemic, that's the mother of all panics, right? The pandemic happened in 2020, and right there, right here, that was the pandemic. This is AMD. Very good popular stock. The fundamentals are solid. It wasn't expensive. The PE is reasonable even for a growth company. The management is solid. The products are good, etc. Right. So the pandemic happened. The first stint fall here. Everybody's panicking. What do? I don't panic. I don't run to buy puts. I was like, how can I make money off this panic? I sold puts on the first dip. I sold puts. I'll tell you what that means in a second. I sold puts. Where's my marker? Annotate. There we go. So this was the pandemic. We fell to here. So I went out and I said, who's panicking? Who's panicking? I'm selling protection. And somebody sold me, somebody bought from me puts down here for AMD. No joke. $22 puts for October. I sold it. And if I did 10, I collected $2,200. It was $2.20 for one contract. It was crazy. So somebody here panicked and said, oh my God, I own shares. Get me out if it goes below 22. Sold. All I have to do is collect their money and by October of that year, maybe own at 22, break even 20, little lower. That was my maximum risk, right? And then the stock bounced. This produced profits. I didn't touch it. And then the stock did this. The second wave of panic, I was like, hey, I did it the first time. Anybody wants insurance? They jumped all over me. This time I sold it for July 20, $2.20 again. So I could have done another 10 for another $2,200. Now I'm even lower. So the worst case scenario is if somebody panicked and they wanted out of their shares at $20, so they break even at 18. I don't know what they saw coming. They panicked. I jumped all over the panic. If I panicked with them, I'd be buying puts. Instead, I looked into the fear they're jumping into. I have a whole bunch of support. I have a P&L that's freaking bulletproof down here. And I'll take the risk. I'll get paid to buy shares at a huge discount from where they were already. So for me to lose, AMD would have done this and gotten down to like $16 per share. Then I would lose $2 per share. So somebody panicked. I didn't chase them. I ran into what they panicked, looked around, was like, hey, you're panicking. I'm here to save you. Here you go. Here's your ticket. And then what happened? Nothing. AMD stabilized and rallied. Even if it didn't rally, even if it fell to here, I would have still won. What do I win? All the money I collected here, it would die for zero. They didn't file an insurance claim. They paid for a car insurance. They didn't file a claim for the accident. So the insurance company pocketed your claim. That's what I did. I sold insurance for people who were panicking, and I didn't have to claim, address any claims. So this is I wish we would have that situation again. I don't want AMD to go to 20 because I don't want people to lose money, or 40 or wherever it was. But these scenarios, like if AMD has, I think AMD should be in the 60s, and I think it will be in the 60s on our next hiccup in the market. And if AMD does this, I'm going to do this again. I probably can't do it at 20, but I bet you I can sell them in the 30s. So if I can sell on some bad day where people say, oh my God, AMD is going to zero, I'll come out and say, I got you. You're going to zero. I'll get you at 32 or 31. I don't know. I'm just saying. On a bad day, sell somebody some insurance when you know what you're selling into. I wouldn't do this in a stupid stock. I would do this in solid stock. If you don't know AMD's financials are incredible. Incredible. The growth is insane. Let's see here, balance sheet, income statement. The growth is super strong, 16 billion from 6 billion, 9 billion, 16 billion, 19 billion. What? Let's see, net income. Where are we? Where's net income? Net income. 3 billion net income. What? Let's see here. Statistics. PE of 30. 6 price to sales. That's like half price from NVDA, I believe. Cash from operations, $3.5 billion. What does that mean? That is a really important statistic. If you're not addressing that, you're missing the point. This is how much money they generate from their own operations. Like, are they bleeding cash? It's positive. I'll show you the exact opposite scenario that you should run from. CVNA. Okay, so Carvana, great chart. I think it could rally to here, right? But the reason I wouldn't touch it, because of this. Check it out. So income statement, same growth, explosive growth. Where is it? Income statement. Total revenue. Look at that growth from 200 million to 14 billion, right? They're not losing a lot, 360 million. That's not bad. Here's the scary part for me. 3 billion in loss in 2021 to get that accomplished. Not loss like net income, in cash, negative cash flow from operations. In order to operate, they needed to probably borrow to the hilt to get that done. So the operations is not generating any cash positive. It's actually 2.8 billion negative. So how long can they maintain this in order to produce these incredible statements here? And if borrowing next year is harder because of higher rates, will that kill their growth rate? And if so, if this comes out 30% one day, what will happen to the stock price? So this would be a scary proposition, not for me. I'll pass. There is better situations like PayPal that has a similar ugly stock price chart, but nowhere near the problems in the financials. So you have to be tactical. You have to be thorough. You have to be legitimately looking at the pluses and minuses of everything. you can't just take an opinion. Oh, I love Carvana. Look at the chart. Oh my gosh, look at the growth. You have to look into everything and tie it into the macro. Powell matters. There are three things that the stock market needs. First, infrastructure, so it's not broken, clearly. Second, money flow. That's Powell. And that's a new variable. Last year, when he had a QE, this was not a variable. It was a static plus sign. And then on top of that, you have sentiment. That's the third thing. And sentiment was the only variable. And now sentiment cannot be worse. So sentiment is really upside potential, because who you're going to disappoint? Everybody thinks the crappiest thing about everything. There's not one piece of good news anywhere, right? So where is the extra juice of bad news that's going to cause another 20% drop from here? So in the lack of extra bad news, I would think we would have relief news on one thing or another. So all we need to see is Powell say, hey, I'm not going to break this economy on purpose. The reason he hasn't said that yet, because he means to break the economy. So anyway, tangents, I'm all over it. I'm sorry, it's an active day. My neck is killing me, and it's the end of the week of a busy week. But I'm here, I'm having fun. I'm glad we have this opportunity.
Nic, and just for all the guys here and girls that I know, I mean, they love these sessions. I love them too as well. Nic has helped me a lot personally as a trader. But I mean, keep in mind, Nic is coming from doing this, every single day, 9 to 5.
Right. Every day I'm here talking from before the market opens until an hour after market opens. I'm here. I'm sharing my screen like you're looking. We look at these screens all day. Okay, so this is somebody sharing their trade idea, and I just provided it. So here's my setup for today. That was a credit put spread. So in the morning, I shared this. I said I sold a credit call spread, 325, 330. I told you about it for the SPX. It ran into it, but it never came here, so I won. I said I would sell a credit put spread, but I didn't. So had I done this, I would have had much more money, but nevertheless. And this was later in the day, and I had double windows going on. And then every once in a while I go here, and this is for me because it's pretty busy for you to see what's going on here. But I pop in here just so I can keep track. I also helped trade Tesla today. We won with Tesla on this dip. It went up here. I said short it with a put. Boop, boop. Whoever shorted it made a crap ton of money. Not me, but I said, this looks like a fake out, short it on the second poke, and it played out like a charm. Apple and Microsoft had amazing closes, so I'm holding my breath for Monday. Look at that. Wow, that's amazing. These are 1 minute charts. And by the way, we do come down to 5 and 15 second charts. If you're interested, those are really fun to watch. Why would we do that? Well, if we're watching a 15-second chart, we see 4 times as much data as our next competitor. So a lot of learning in here. The messages I get the most that are most rewarding to me is not like, hey, I just killed it, I made X% on my money, but hey, I just got it. The concept sunk in. I'm making so many fewer mistakes now. I'm making so much better. Like this week, yesterday or 2 days ago, I had an iron condor. Somebody followed me in a similar scenario. Many did. And one person reached out, Ben, who I met personally, Ben, and he at FinTwit in Vegas conference. And he said, hey, should I close the upper end, the bearish side? It's getting under fire. Should I close it? I said, I'm not going to close it. It's an iron condor. If you collected $2, that's your break-even point. So if you're losing on the top end, but overall you're still a winner, why are you capitulating right now? And we didn't, and we won.
Hey, Nic, really quick, shout out to McKay TW. Welcome to the Options Inner Circle room. Let's go, McKay.
All right, shout out. So start with the videos, chat with me over the weekend. I don't think I'm going to answer anybody this afternoon. I'm spent. Story for you there, Rod. I don't know if you heard it from me yet. I was on the street in my neighborhood at a store of sorts. I won't say what it was. And I was talking to the person that works there. I had my son with me, who's 20. And I started saying, and they stopped me and they said, you're the Benzinga dude. I was like, yes.
The credit put spread guy?
No, it was a girl. And she said I was the Benzinga person. And then she remembered my name. And guess what? Anyway, so we have members everywhere is what I'm saying. And the point is that
yeah, it's international. The chat room, for everybody to know, is number one, it's open 24/7, the blue chat room, and we have people from every single corner of the world.
we
literally.
have today we have our Italian friends back from vacation. Liliana, I think, is Italian, and we have people in Turkey who reached out to me. My mother is my mom still lives in Lebanon. I was born and raised in Lebanon, and she reached outside. One person in the chat room reached outside sideways to tell me, sidebar, to tell me if they can help because they're closer to Lebanon, that somebody's going to Lebanon from her family if they need me to get something to my mom, because Lebanon, if you don't know, it's all devastated and the banks are broke. So even if you have money in the bank, you don't have money. Hey, Tom, sounds like you speak. So the community is amazing. We have all kinds of languages spoken from all over the globe. I swear to you, we have people from Australia. We have Australians in Germany and England. We definitely have Canadians among us. So it's everywhere. Chile, there we go. We have Chile.
Right. And here's the thing, Nick. I know that it's, you're live trading and all that stuff, but, I just want to make sure that people understand, like, there's a ton of education that you're providing there. Like, even that people join that are not even trading. They're just trying to make sure they know what they're doing before they get into it, because they've heard the horror stories.
I'll give you ideas. We come up with, if we're the earnings season is a whole bunch of trade ideas and lessons. Like, there's no better way to teach a call diagonal or call calendar or put diagonal or put calendar, but on earnings season, because of the differential and the implied volatility. So I delve into videos and I share total videos based on demands. Why do I do it? What's an implied volatility? How can I get it to use? How do I avoid the mistake that everybody does, which is buy a call or buy a put, or worse, buy both on earnings? I show you different ways that are almost foolproof to make money off of earnings if you're realistic and not looking for a 10 bagger, as they say. How about a double bagger? So I share the videos, I post them, and I'll give you a link. The posts are private to the members. If you're not a member, you're not going to get the link, so you don't know to look for the video. So it's a strong community. Learning is number one objective, and we earn while we learn. That's the number two objective. And we avoid mistakes. If I can do one thing and have you stop making the same stupid mistakes, and we all make them. We all instinctively want to make mistakes. Stop it. Think like a market maker. You would win much more often than you lose. You would be successful in the long run. Everybody has good runs. Everybody can make money in an upward market. But right now, the word you need to learn is tactical. You need to be tactical. You cannot be investing in stocks near their all-time highs. You have to be tactical. You can take bets and trades that are from here to here. I'm taking this trade because of ABC. My target is here, and if it gets to here, I'm out. Tactical. More trading than investing. There are some bargains. Meta was a bargain. I invested in it. Palantir was a bargain. I invested in it. SoFi was a bargain. I invested in it. Bitcoin was a bargain. I invested in it. By the way, I called the Bitcoin debacle in November. I said Bitcoin is going to 19 to 22. It was in the 50s. And I said, here's how it's going to play out. And I shared a video, and it played out almost tick for tick. And I said what I would do on the way down. So over the weekend, when Bitcoin crashed, everybody said, calling the doom of Bitcoin. I said, anytime you start hearing doom of Bitcoin forever, start nibbling, because these morons don't have a clue what they're talking about. So I bought Solana, which is a coin that's pretty popular, and it does something. I'll explain in a second. At 27.4 or 0.3, I can't remember. It went up to 40 something today or yesterday. So if somebody did that, how big was that win? And it was just from on my couch. Actually, I think I did it while I was in the room here. It's just easy. And somebody asked me today, how would you trade Bitcoin? I'm going to give you the lesson that it's $42 right now, 41.81 Solana. I paid 27. So the high was 42. So that's just pure profit. So here's the risky part about Bitcoin. Can anybody tell me what the risky part about Bitcoin is? I'll give you a minute. Tell me, what do you think the risky part about Bitcoin? Is there a delay? Okay, I'll tell you what the risky part. The risky part about Bitcoin, Dan, you're close, yes. Nothing behind it? Nope, nothing behind gold either, or cash in the US. Dan was closer. Okay, the riskiest part about Bitcoin is where you put your money to trade. So if you open an account with ABC Coin Company and ABC Coin Company disappears, no, not sell-off. Sell-offs are buying opportunities. Your money is gone. So in Schwab, your risk of that are very low on stocks. Stocks are not insured. Somebody says it's not FDIC insured Coinbase. Yeah, neither is Schwab. It's not. So your stocks are not FDIC insured. So the risk is that you're dealing with companies overseas. Like I tried KuCoin, didn't feel comfortable, didn't fund it. I tried crypto.com, felt more comfortable, funded it. I do not want to venture into companies I don't know anything about and companies that don't have relationships to report in the US. So a company that tells me I'm not going to report you to the IRS, I don't want to do business with them, because what would stop them from taking my money and running, right? So at least if they're accountable and registered with the US country, and they have to report my activity, so I have this level of comfort, right? So the riskiest part is where to put your money. So if you want to take that risk off, I'll give you two solutions. One, you open the trading account like you do at Schwab. You buy your coins and you immediately send them to your own wallet. So it's like you buying stocks. And when you buy stock right now, Schwab takes storage of your stocks. So you say, send me my stocks and I'll store them in my safe. And that's the equivalent idea of it, where you take the coin transaction, you bought Bitcoin, you send it to your wallet. Now that coin company cannot take it from you because you're the owner of your own wallet. Okay. So that's one solution. The easier solution is right here in front of us. And let me type it. It's 4 letters. Can anybody see what I'm typing? B-I-T-O. BITO. So this is I think the only ETF that tracks Bitcoin futures purely. Okay. So if you want to profit from the Bitcoin rally back, then you don't want the risk of opening an account with a company you don't trust overseas, like crypto.com is not based in the US. So I don't know where they go with their money. So this would be the best thing, because this one is going to move with Bitcoin. So if I put add here and I'll show you Bitcoin BTCUSD, and I pick Bitcoin, they should be tandem. Like you should not see any difference, and you don't. It's right there behind it. You can't see it. So tick for tick. So if I wanted to buy Bitcoin, I would buy BITO. It'd be the same thing. So if you know options, and they said, how would you trade BITO? I said, if I want to own crypto, I do own crypto. If I wanted to own more crypto, I would sell puts in BITO every week until I get assigned. If I don't get assigned, I'm making money every week. If I do one contract, I'm making $50, $100, whatever, every week. Worst case scenario, I'm buying Bitcoin cheaper than now. That's it. And I'm not risk. Bitcoin price is not the risk. Bitcoin, every dip was an amazing purchase. Look at it. Imagine you bought every dip in Bitcoin. Imagine you bought every dip in Bitcoin. If you bought, remember when it went to 19,000 and everybody said, oh my God, and then it crashed, everybody made fun of it. Yeah. You could have made 400%, and then it crashed again with the market. And if you did that, you would have made 1,300, 1,400, whatever that number is. Okay. If you bought this crash, you would have made 120. So every crash is a reason to buy. Nothing comes close to the profits that you had from Bitcoin. Nothing. Everything, nothing Buffett owns that does that. So with all due respect to all these financial experts out there, I think they're all wrong. And I don't think they're going to live long enough to be proven wrong, but in hindsight, they will be proven wrong. Here's the thing. Is there anything in your life that has not gone digital? Is there anything in your life that has not gone digital or trying to get digital? Everything in your life is going digital. Your car is all digital. There's nothing, everything. So why not money? There is no way money stays paper forever. No way. There's not one sci-fi movie that shows paper money transacting anywhere. People don't want paper money. Okay, so money will be digital. Bitcoin, crypto are establishing the technologies that will handle it. I guarantee it that when the Fed wants to issue its own money, it's going to come to crypto and say, can you help us with the blockchain thing so we don't have to reinvent the wheel? Yeah. So whether you believe it or not, Bitcoin, fake or not, doesn't matter. The Mona Lisa is fake, yet it has value. Hell, prints of the Mona Lisa are faker. They have value because there's a buyer for everything. And if there's a buyer, there's a price. And if that price keeps going back up, who cares what you think about it? So if I don't like art and I have an opportunity to make money from dealing art, and I say no because I don't believe in that art, I think I'm making a mistake. GBTC is another way to do it too, but GBTC does not have options. Grayscale, something. And this is a good buy. So regardless of what this stock is, this pattern is bullish. And the upside of this pattern, once it triggers, is going to floor you. It's going to be $30, $29 to $31. And the second target is $40. So this has an opportunity to soar. How? Somewhere here lies a bottom, whether here or lower, I don't know. And they're going to try to close the gap. Somehow they're going to stall. They're going to do this. They're going to do that and pop to here. Then they'll have a fight over it. It'll make news. It won't make news. And then maybe they fade again, rinse and repeat the process and fight over it, and then have added another run from here. This is a totally viable setup. Support will kick in. Where? I don't know. So how do I time it? You don't. You take a small bite and you add later. That's what I did. Support. So this is GBTC. Now, I don't believe they have options, but you can buy the shares. They split. They used to be $700, $800, and then it went to $1 billion, whatever. So they split. I don't know when, but they did split. This is a weekly chart. So these are like very slow motions, right? This is a daily chart right there. You can see it's violent. It's not an easy entry, especially when every bit of news makes fun of it. I saw a bit from Buffett the other day that made me cringe. I cannot believe a guy this smart would say something this weird. He said some stupid story about if you told me you can buy all the farmland in the United States for $40 billion or whatever, I would buy it. If you told me you can have all the Bitcoin in the world for 20 cents or $2 or $20, I wouldn't. Like, well, then you're missing a screw, friend. What? And he goes, what does it do for me? What does gold do for you? Nothing. It looks good on your chest, and that's about it. No, that was the weirdest thing from a smart, brilliant man that I heard. I had never heard that. I mean, I heard the other guy talk bad about Bitcoin, but not with that stupid analogy. So anyway, enough about Bitcoin. I'm not a Bitcoin woohoo to the moon guy, but I don't like when people make fun of it like it's stupid. It's not. If you're not seeing the value in it, maybe you don't see the value in it. It's coming. Blockchains is not the same as Bitcoin. I don't know what you're saying. Blockchain is not the same as Bitcoin. Yeah. Riot, I wouldn't do it. So here's the thing. If you want to use a stock to trade Bitcoin, I think it's not very efficient. If I were to choose one, I would choose Overstock. In fact, today Overstock alerted me of an upside opportunity. Why? Because they have a business. Overstock actually has a business. Riot does not. If Bitcoin dies, Riot dies. Overstock not. Look at this. These were the charts I had for Overstock, and it's playing out. And today it alerted me. I forgot what that alert said. Let's go see. Triggered. What did I say? Overstock 38 question mark. So it's to bring my attention because they beat this. There's a potential of getting to 38. Okay, so I'm going to restart this for Monday and move it up a little bit. So it wakes me up on Monday. Or say here on a dip, credit put spread for the 38 alert target. So I'd remember what this is about. So if it dips, I'll get long by selling risk down here. And then I'll get long on the upside for upside targets if I get the triggers again. So this played out almost exactly how I said, dip, breakout. Now I'm ready to see if I can take the second leg higher from here. So OSTK would be better than Riot in my book. Mara also, because Mara is strictly Bitcoin, I believe. So is Riot. OSTK has a business. Which exchange do you? I use crypto.com. I'm not recommending them. The platform is crap. They don't have a desktop. You have to use your phone, and it's so not easy to use and intuitive to use, and so clunky. Every button you push, you got to hit back, and it resets it. It's just. But here's the one thing: I had a scare with it. I don't know, a couple months ago. I've never used Coinbase. A couple months ago, I had a scare where it made the news. Couldn't log back in. And the two-factor authentication was like, oh, you have that hot flash. This is it. This is the moment you lose your money in Bitcoin because you can't log back in. It turns out that they had a handful of reports. I love that story. A handful of reports that they said, hey, we have activity that we didn't think we did. Just 2 or 3, crypto.com. They locked up the whole platform. Their reaction was shut it down. They shut down the whole platform so nobody can do anything. That is a good level of support, in my opinion. Their reaction was like, holy crap, we're making so much money in the US. We better just shut it down so we don't have anything on our hands. That's like, oh, somebody took $300 million worth of coins and left from crypto.com. They had 2 or 3 reports of suspicious activity in people's accounts. They shut down the whole thing for like a whole day. I was upset at first. And then when I read the note that came from them, I was like, oh, okay. So kudos. So now I feel better about it. But like I said, if you have a lot of money in crypto, you owe it to yourself and you want to hold it for the long term to get it out of there and put it in your own storage. They make a whole bunch of wallets. Some are hardcore wallets, like Ledger, I believe. They actually will give you something that looks like a jump drive that you can store stuff on. Others are what are they called? dApps. They run themselves. So there's no customer service. So if you lose your password setups, you're toast. So the password is one thing. And then the recovery of the password is a process of, they give you, I think, 20 words in certain sequence that you have to type in to recover the account. So it's pretty secure, but only you hold the key and you better not lose it. And it's Fort Knox. So crypto, I wouldn't write it out. It is the best performing asset. And if you're in the business of investing and you choose to opt out of it, then you're saying, I'm only investing in second best or lower. It's fine, but there's a lot of money to be made there. Like $27 to $41 in a day and a half or 2 is just an amazing achievement. And it's total fun. And you don't need thousands. You can start with 100, 200, 300. You say, I want to buy $200 worth of Ether. I want to buy 3 Solana coins. You can buy partial coins. So if you want Bitcoin, you don't have 30,000 or 20,000, then you buy $500 worth of Bitcoin. And don't go all in. So we discuss it all. I want to have a crypto only segment once a week, but I just haven't had time. Everybody wants it in the group. They would love it. So I would have to figure out a time slot to where we get together.
Yeah.
And we discuss crypto.
Just to clarify, folks, again, this is another Nic Chahine MVP move right here, right? Where he's basically just adding stuff as he goes, at his own pace. And look, this is just part of how Nick, like, this is what I'm saying, guys. Like, when we started this chat room, it wasn't everything that you see now. It's been a lot of evolving to what retail traders actually want. And Nick has more than provided for that. I'll tell you that.
I appreciate it. Somebody's asking, Vladan, would I use BWB? Tell me what BWB is. Remember, I'm not from Wall Street. I don't want to assume I know what you're saying. So let me know and I'll opine. Oh, okay. So butterflies are not my favorite because they are a low odds, high payout ratio, the way everybody takes them, that are cheap. I like the fact that you're choosing a broken wing. The broken wing is a modified version of a butterfly that is very low odds because it's so specific where it needs it to go, and widens the eye of the needle. So it's a thread the needles trade, and it just makes it easier to manage. Broken wing, I could accept it if it's a pretty wide range. The only time I was able to do that if it's out in time and wide range. So I would use it, but I haven't used OSTK in a while, so I don't know. Like, I would not do it with Shopify. There is no way you're going to be able to do it with Shopify successfully. I could do it in something as stable as Apple or liquid as Apple or the SPY, and not on a crazy day, because then the quotes go crazy and it'll be just impossible to pin it. But yeah, I would use it. Not my favorite, but I would use it. If you want acceleration, I would rather sell a put, buy a call type of a deal, to where you get that extra from selling something below that's going to die in your favor and give you that extra. What about Coinbase stock? I think it's a good buy from the standpoint of, why is it falling with Bitcoin prices? I mean, they're still going to transact coins, right? So why is it like Schwab doesn't fall when the stock market is falling? Yet this is a stock that falls with the commodity they trade in. It doesn't hold Bitcoins, not that I know of. So why is it falling out of control? I got long coin at the bottom, and I would get long, but not all in, because it is hated by Wall Street right now. So they do have a lot of users. They might get bought out. I don't know. They're profitable and they're growing. So what's not to like? Yet Wall Street is treating it like it's going out of business. This is crazy. It's crazy. 2.5 billion in profits. And let me see, do they burn cash or do they generate cash? Holy crap. 10, 11 billion. That's as much as Tesla. $11 billion in cash from their own operations. What? 11 billion with 5 billion of income? How is that possible? How is that mathematically possible? Okay, so I'm going to have to investigate that. How does that happen? Holy crap. That's weird. So anyway, it's not struggling. There's no negative numbers, but look at the stock. That's insane. So how would I get long? I would sell a put until I get assigned. What kind of a put? I don't know. I didn't look at the premiums. That's Coinbase. So if I'm long, it's too late to panic out. If I want to get long and it dips again towards the lows, towards 50 or lower, I would get long. Many ways of doing that. I recently went long. Yesterday, I sent out a long XBI write-up to everybody. And it's been on my radar for a while. And the trade is already playing out well. So this is the same type of a deal. Look, the double bottom, excellent stock. Can't find a bottom. Same as Coinbase. See? If I hit coin, it's going to look similar. Same. Double bottom. So let's see. Fear is at the highest. The news is at the most negative. The only thing that can come up from here is some sort of a disaster, like a, God forbid, terrorism attack or some attack on some government, major government or government official or something. change of the guards of presidency in the United States, which is in the rumblings. That's probably the next leg lower. If they decide to take Biden out for one reason or another, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. Who's second in command? Kamala. I don't know if that's going to perceive as a question mark in the market, not to judge if she's good or not good, but Wall Street hates question marks. So if you give them a bad situation, they'll throw a fit for a couple of days or a couple of weeks or a couple of months. They'll adjust to it and they'll trade within those new parameters. If you change something major, whether good or bad, the first instinct is to sell the uncertainty and then we'll figure it out. So just as we're basing, you don't need another wrinkle. I don't see another wrinkle with the headlines that we have. We will need a new shoe to drop for them to go down that road. So for now, this looks like a good bottom. If somebody got long, trim, lock, buy some protection in case something happens. We're in the mode of, I call it ABC mode. The ABC of high VIX trading. The VIX is the fear factor. I call it ABCs. So the idea is to, when the VIX is this high, you can't trust much. So what do you do when you can't trust much? When you get a rally, you add insurance. Like, let's say yesterday was super bad day and you were saying, oh my gosh, I wish I had puts. I wish I had insurance. And then the next day, today, we pop big time and you don't do anything. Or you book profits faster than normal. Let's say yesterday we had a bad day and you said, ooh, I see support, you jumped in. The next day we pop, giant pop, book profits faster than normal. The C is close problem trades. Let's say I was long something yesterday, I was deep red, and today it pops, I get back to even or green. Close the problem trade. That's the ABCs of high VIX trading. Why? Because high VIX equals market makers don't have a clue. They're nervous. You should be too. Okay. Whew. How long are we staying on, Senor Rodrigo?
Well, as long as you have energy here, I know you.
Okay, how about we do a couple of tickers and we'll call it a day. Will that be okay?
Yeah, let's go over that. You have a couple you want to go over before we get some here from the chat?
I'm here for them. Let them choose. If you can see it, let me know. Amazon, we'll do Amazon. EPD, no. NVIDIA. Amazon, NVIDIA, Palantir. NEO, 4. Amazon, NVIDIA, Palantir, and NEO. Amazon, big fan of the company. Big fan of the company. Okay, I have question marks about the new management. Their first outing, they stock split and buybacks. What? You ran out of ideas? Anyway, here are my trades. Look at that. Look how nice and repetitive they are, right? Up here, it's not an obvious entry point. This was support. Now it's resistance, question mark. So if we fade, I would rather get long into 110 or 108. So I don't want to chase into a prior failure. Why? Because they are selling rallies. I have to respect that. Rally sold, rally sold. This is another rally. I wouldn't short it from here. If the markets are high, somebody shorted it today in my room. I said, please tell me you're not shorting it from a fundamental basis. If the stock markets are higher in the future, it's almost a guarantee Amazon is going to be higher in the future. However, their P&L might show a lot of pain from the oil prices. If they're still delivering free stuff, I don't know if the new rate hike came into effect. If it did, maybe it offsets. Otherwise, there might be a negative surprise on the next earnings report. Be careful. That's Amazon. NVIDIA. NVIDIA, I think it shouldn't have stopped falling because it and AMD have a lot of stuff to fix from a while back. They rallied too far in summer of 2020. That's what it was. So NVIDIA is in the hands of the sellers. The bears are in control, and I'll tell you, as long as it's below this, the bears are in control. Anything below 210, sell rallies in NVIDIA. They're going to try and sell rallies. So good company, somewhat expensive, can get cheaper. I think if the market's correct, you could buy it in 2 digits. If not, below 120 for sure. I don't want it to go there, but it's a possibility if the market collapses or hiccups, I should say. This was pre-COVID levels. It finally got back to it. Good job there. So once you trigger a bearish pattern, you can see it right here, head and shoulders. Onus becomes on the bulls to take it out. And unfortunately, they made 2 lower highs since then. So they have resistance here and 180, resistance at 185, 86, bigger resistance at 206 to 210. Volume resistance at 220. I think it's going to be impossible to get to 240 this year, but they might try. Don't short it. I would be willing to take a credit put spread on it on a bad day. And when it rallies hard, maybe short it by selling a credit call spread to make an iron condor. NVIDIA, nothing against the company. If the stock markets are higher in the future, it's not going to be lower. So that's that. Palantir, I got long because of the headlines on which it fell on. It fell on headlines of their executives are making too much money. Who cares? Who cares? If they're growing the business 30, 40% a year, let them have as much money as they want. Please deliver 30, 40% a year with your current compensation. Thank you very much. I don't give 2 rips about it. It was a buy the dip moment. This is a business that does about $1.6, $1.7 billion in sales, and it grows 30, 40% a year. Now their gripe is, other than the employee compensation, high executive compensation, is that, oh, they're selling fewer government contracts. Again, who cares? The company sells apples and oranges. They're starting to sell more oranges than apples. If the overall sales are bigger than they were last year, does it matter that they sold more oranges than apples? No, it doesn't. So don't listen to the rhetoric. Plain simple math. The company's growing fast. They're not bleeding cash. Therefore, it's a buy. At $8, it was a bargain. I'm up 120% on my profits. I took them off the table, and now I'm running with house money, as they say. I'm going to let it run. My calls are, I think, October or September. I haven't found calls to sell against to make them work because there's not much premium in there. So I just am leaving them running all by themselves. Same exact answer for SoFi, Antoine. Same answer. I own calls for SoFi for October for $1 at $6. SoFi is a great business. Just people just don't know what it is. NEO. Do not short NEO right here. It has the opportunity to get to 32. If it dips to 20 or 21, I think it's a better buy, and it's going to do that. Against the threat of headline, Chinese delisting, blah, 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 that you can't do anything about. So if you can accept that risk, it has the opportunity to get to 32. The last effort failed, but this one might not fail. So I did sell a put spread in NEO. I said, actually, let me see, what kind of a trade did I do with NEO? NEO. Credit put spreads. So I said, or debit call spread. No, I didn't do the debit call spread. So I said, I like NEO. I don't trust the markets. So tactically, I want to take a trade that bets on the upside potential without having the need for it to happen. So I took a risk, and I said, NEO will not be below 16 within the next 2 weeks. And that risk paid. So we're done. Somebody's asking, why October? Why not? I needed time on the clock. I didn't want to watch it all the time. I picked October. Okay. NEO, I think that was it, right? Palantir, NVIDIA, and I threw in SoFi.
Right. So, Nic, before we do move on here, because I do have to show the folks here, the chat room, the format, all that stuff. Where's some closing remarks on your end on what you're looking in the chat room with the members, and why the folks should consider joining the live trading room here with us?
It's total fun. It's totally educational beyond your belief, and you can make money along the way. And I'm guaranteeing you become a better trader. However you trade now, with the current tools you have now, I'm guaranteeing it that you will be a better trader. Nobody's going to say that. And if you don't believe me, They will give you your money back. They being Benzinga. I don't work for Benzinga. I choose to work with Benzinga for 10, 12 years because we do good things. So I am not a trade alert service, although I do share my trade alerts. I am an education first, empowerment, and total resources. I'm sharing information all day. Other people are sharing information all day. Hundreds. We have thousands of members for a reason. They can't be all wrong. Join. I promise you won't be disappointed. And if I disappoint you, it means I didn't point you the right direction and you're entitled to it. You turn around and ask Benzinga for your money back. That's it. Right. It's a simple promise. And if you don't like it, what do you got to lose? Nothing. If you're serious about leveling up your game, do the math. It's a school open all year on your schedule. And it costs peanuts. You can't even get a community college class for that much.
Right. And I'm going to show them all the live sessions here and stuff, Nic. But big shout out there to Nic Chahine, lead trader at the Options Inner Circle chat room.
There we go. You just made my weekend. Do.
All right, man. Well, thanks a lot for everything there, Nic. I will see you in the chat room on Monday. And for the folks that stay here, I'll just show them a little bit, the format and all that stuff.
Right on. Thanks for the opportunity.
No worries. All right, man. Thanks a lot, Nic.
Later.
All right, folks. And really quick, what I'm showing you guys is the live trading session. This is where Nic is Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. And it looks like he's still here doing some sort of charting, I guess, homework. I don't know. But this is how it would look, right? When you are here live, there's a chat room here on the side. Okay. And this is, again, live, immediate feedback that you can, like, literally Nic can chart something out for you on the spot. If you're trading it or if you want to trade it, that's how I use it. But if you're there all day, it's a great learning experience because there's a lot of trades and education being thrown out there. So this is just to show you how it would look like, right? And Mukesh, good question. So it's a Google Chromebook. Everybody that joins will get it. Yep. You have till midnight though, and you have to use the link that's on the chat, because if you do use the link that's on the chat, you get a special bonus, special surprise that I hooked everybody here if you join, right? So just make sure that you're using the link from this chat on the Zoom chat. And on YouTube, it's on the chat and the description there. So it's hooked up already for you guys. But this is the live session. I don't know what Nic is doing there, but it looks like he's setting some stuff up. But yes, this is the live trading session, Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. Mukesh, you'll find out. Once you sign up, you'll see something there that you're not supposed to have, but you'll have if you join. Extra, right? So this blue chat room, okay, this blue chat room is where pretty much everything goes down, right? You'll have two channels. One channel is called Inner Circle Chat, and that's where everybody there is, I mean, all the members, right? Including Nic, back and forth, talking about trade setups, that sort of stuff. And then the other channel here is called Nic's Important Messages. And there only Nic can post. And this is where you will find the link posted always about 8:30 a.m. around there. And it's going to have this link here that says live session. You click there, okay, right there, and it takes you to this live session where Nic is sharing his screen, talking, answering questions. It's all day. It's the whole day, right? And then right below there, you have the indexes. These are charted. So you have the SPY, Qs, IWM, and futures if you guys trade futures or even look at them, right? They're very important. And then you get market commentaries, trades, entries, that sort of stuff, guys. So the last thing here is that you do have sound alerts. You just have to click this. You see the bells turn yellow. That means you're going to get a sound pop whenever there's a post on either channel. If you don't want them, you can just remove them or individually, put the ticker there. I'm sorry, put the channel that you want that has the bell there. So good question there. Jeffrey, this is different, but send me an email and I'll try to work something out for you. Keep in mind it's Friday, and but I'm gonna answer every email. So just make sure you send an email with whatever question you have, if you already have something or anything of that nature, and we'll work something out there for you. Good stuff. Good question there, Jeffrey. So I'm gonna post the contact there, guys. All right. So thanks a lot for being here. Everybody, make sure you have a safe weekend. All right. Make sure you're ready for the trading day on Monday. All you guys that are looking at trades, I highly consider joining the Inner Circle chat room here. You have 7 days that you get your money back. That's pretty much risk-free at this point. And if you can do that, if it works out for you, you can stay and obviously be part of this great community here with Nic. So thanks a lot for being here, guys, and we'll see you in the chat room on Monday.